Hey guys, welcome to Backstage with Millionaires. I'm Caleb, your host, and today we're going to be talking about the latest news that's been happening in India's startup ecosystem over the course of the last week. Specifically, we're going to be talking about two very new alternatives to popular apps here in India, some bad news for SoftBank as two of their portfolio companies struggle, Flipkart's foray into social commerce, two big acquisitions that happened this week, all of the latest funding news, and more coming up right after this. All right, first up, let's talk about these two new alternatives to popular apps here in India. Jio has launched JioMeet as an alternative to Zoom, and Instagram has launched Instagram Reels as a replacement for TikTok, which was recently banned here in India. So firstly, I want to talk about JioMeet because this is something that people have been very excited for, and it's only been live for about a week, but it's been downloaded over 1 million times already. And now that people are trying JioMeet out for the first time, it's causing a little bit of controversy because the actual user interface is almost identical to Zoom's. In fact, the similarities are so striking that Zoom's India head, Samir Raje, said that he was shocked by the resemblance. And they're actually thinking about taking legal action against Jio. That being said though, JioMeet is definitely not an identical clone to Zoom. In fact, there's actually a couple of features in JioMeet that make it even more powerful as a service than Zoom is. For example, with Zoom, if you want to conduct a meeting that's longer than 40 minutes, you're gonna have to pay $15 a month. But with JioMeet, your meetings can go as long as 24 hours, and you can have 100 participants in those meetings, all for free. Meetings on JioMeet are also password protected and encrypted, which is something that Zoom has struggled with in the past. So I'm definitely curious to know what you guys think of this. If you had a choice between JioMeet and Zoom, which one would you pick? And also, what are your thoughts on Jio deciding to copy Zoom's UI? Is this something that they should be praised for or reprimanded? And then of course, we should also talk about Instagram Reels, which is essentially a replacement for TikTok since it was banned in India about 2 weeks back. So Reels is a feature on Instagram that enables users to record and edit 15-second long videos that they can then add music to, speed up, slow down, and of course add face filters to, just like this one. And what I think is really amazing about Instagram Reels, which by the way is only available here in India, is that it was launched just 1 week after TikTok was banned in India. So my guess is that Instagram already had Reels in development, and then when TikTok was banned in India, they just accelerated the development so they could pump out this new offering as quickly as possible. If you'll remember, there was a time when Instagram Stories wasn't a thing. That was their response to the success of Snapchat, which they essentially stole features from and put those features into Instagram, and then those features ended up being more popular on Instagram than they even were on Snapchat. So my guess is that as long as TikTok is banned in India, Instagram Reels is gonna be the king in this 15-second long video category, and then possibly Instagram is gonna roll out Reels to other countries in the world as well, and then try to compete with TikTok globally. All right, next up in the news, let's talk about the performance of two of SoftBank's portfolio companies, Oyo and Uber, and the unfortunate situation that both of these companies have found themselves in as a result of the novel coronavirus pandemic. Firstly, let's talk about Uber, which due to global restructuring in an effort to cut costs, has closed its Mumbai office. Now, according to Uber, the quality of their service in Mumbai is not going to be affected by the shutting of this office, but this is something that they're choosing to do after laying off roughly 600 employees, which makes up about 25% of Uber India's workforce. You've got lockdowns happening all around the world, and even though India isn't currently technically in lockdown, a lot of the people that would normally take Uber, the customers that Uber typically attracts in India, are choosing to practice a self-imposed lockdown instead, meaning that they're not taking cabs around the city, resulting in a much lower demand for Uber services than usual. And this is a trend that we're seeing all around the world, where people are hesitant to sit down in a vehicle which is not their own for an extended period of time, especially because they don't know if the driver has COVID-19, they don't know if the passenger that was in the cab before they were has COVID-19. People are scared. And this has resulted in significant losses for Uber to the point where they're looking to cut their costs by around $1 billion US. And then of course we also have Oyo, which is another one of SoftBank's portfolio companies, and they're suffering serious losses as well. Their latest effort to scale down their footprint and reduce their employee headcount is happening in Japan. Japan is a country where their bookings have consistently suffered since the beginning of the coronavirus pandemic because of travel restrictions. And so as a result, they've decided to shut down their offices in cities like Sapporo, Sendai, Nagano, Hiroshima, and Omiya. And they're also looking to downsize their headquarters in Tokyo. All right, next up in the news, Flipkart has decided to foray into the social commerce business with their value products platform Toogood. Talking about the launch, the head of Toogood over at Flipkart, Chanakya Gupta, said that we want the next 200 million customers to be able to experience social commerce comfortably and build their trust on Toogood as they come onto the platform for an engaging shopping experience. These customers quite often face trust and style deficits. In a situation like this, recommendations from a person like yourself or an influencer play a critical role. Influencers are changing the landscape of online retail and bringing greater opportunities for social commerce platforms in India. So in other words, Toogood is Flipkart's attempt to expand their presence in Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities by introducing their customers to a video shopping experience. They're going to have influencers on this platform making videos to showcase the latest trends and products across different categories. These products will then be sold to Flipkart's customers through the virtual stores of these influencers on the Toogood platform. All right, next up in the news, Indian edtech giant Unacademy has acquired online medical exam preparation platform PrepLadder in a cash and stock deal worth $50 million. Founded in 2015, PrepLadder, which is based out of Chandigarh, specializes in medical examinations like NEET PG, AIMS PG, NEET SS, and FMGE. With more than 86,000 active subscribers, the startup claims to be India's largest higher medical education platform. This acquisition is definitely going to help Unacademy to strengthen their medical exam preparation category, as they continue to expand their presence using this inorganic growth strategy. This is Unacademy's third acquisition since March of this year. Back in June, they had acquired online programming platform CodeChef, and then earlier in March, they had acquired another exam preparation platform called Creatrix. With this acquisition, PrepLadder's entire team, which consists of around 250 people, is going to be joining Unacademy. All right, next up in the news, digital payments giant Paytm and its founder Vijay Shekhar Sharma are all set to acquire insurance firm Raheja QBE for $76 million. With this acquisition, Paytm is looking to expand into India's booming insurance space. A health tech startup called QorQl, and sorry if I'm butchering that, I'm not really sure how to pronounce the name of that startup, which is owned by Vijay Shekhar Sharma and Paytm, is going to be the company that actually acquires Raheja QBE in an all-cash deal. Talking about the acquisition, the president of Paytm, Amit Nayar, said that Raheja QBE's strong management team will help us accelerate our journey of taking insurance to the large population of India with the aim to create a tech-driven, multi-channel general insurance company with innovative and affordable insurance products. With more than 41,000 customers, Raheja QBE sold 69,000 policies during the financial year of 2020. In a country with a population of over 1.3 billion people, it's pretty crazy to think that insurance penetration is sitting at less than 5%. So it's really no surprise that Paytm is seeing this as a massive opportunity. All right, moving on to some funding news now, Jio Platforms, as always, has raised even more funds. Specifically, they've raised 1,894.50 crore rupees from Intel Capital for a 0.39% equity. With this investment, Jio Platforms has now raised a total of 1,17,588.45 crore rupees from global investors for roughly a 25% equity. All right, next up in the funding news, Sequoia Capital has raised $1.35 billion for two funds. $825 million will be going into a growth fund, and the remaining $525 million will be going into a venture fund. Through these funds, Sequoia will continue to invest in startups across India and Southeast Asia. This is great news for Indian startups, which are finding it a little bit tricky to attract funds from Chinese investors right now. Sequoia has huge aspirations for India and Southeast Asia, and talking about this in a LinkedIn post, Shailendra Singh, who is the managing director at Sequoia Capital, said that our markets are deepening, our founders are world-class, our tech talent is formidable, but we need to hold ourselves to a higher bar. It's time to aspire for massively large and profitable companies. It's time to build more products that can compete globally on quality, not just on price. We need more unique and innovative startups pursuing original ideas in addition to X and Y business models. With more than 50 investments in 2019, Sequoia was the most active VC firm in India. The firm's total AUM, or assets under management, in India is estimated to be around $5.4 billion. Alright, next up in the funding news, Amazon Seller Services, which is Amazon's marketplace arm in India, has raised $308 million from its parent company. This fresh infusion of capital is expected to boost Amazon's seller network in India after its business was severely impacted due to a 3-month-long lockdown following the COVID-19 pandemic across the country. Earlier this year, Amazon's founder and CEO Jeff Bezos had promised to invest $1 billion in India to support 10 million small and medium-sized businesses in the country. And then earlier in January, Amazon Seller Services and Amazon Data Services India had raised 2,500 crore rupees from its parent company. Small businesses in India are the worst hit right now because of the coronavirus pandemic, and they're finding it hard to survive due to a lack of cash. And so any help that they can get from e-commerce giants like Amazon can help to revive these businesses and restart the economy to a certain extent. Alright, next up in the funding news, Bangalore-based co-living startup Zolo has raised $56 million in its Series C round from investors like Nexus Venture Partners, Investcorp, Mirae Assets, and Trifecta Capital. With this investment, Zolo has now raised $90 million. This investment comes at a crucial time for Zolo, as both demand and occupancy levels seem to be declining across the co-living sector. Now that colleges are continuing to remain closed and employees are continuing to work from home, students and young professionals have been returning to their hometowns amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. According to the company, the fresh capital will be used to strengthen its AI-based technology platform and expand its inventory. Zolo already has 500 facilities across 10 cities, and it plans to add another 500 facilities in the future. Alright, that is all the startup news that I have for you guys this week. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, I would love it if you could leave a comment down below and let me know what your thoughts were on some of the things that we talked about today. Also, if you're not already subscribed, now would be a great time to do so. We post new videos every single week about Indian startups, entrepreneurs, and the latest news that's been happening in India's startup ecosystem. So hit subscribe, and while you're at it, you might as well hit the like button as well. And also, if you know of somebody who you think would enjoy this video, I would love it if you could share it with them. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Backstage with Millionaires, and I will see you in the next one.